It was a cool 67-degree September day at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. Eric Gagne, the electric closer, recorded the final out of another Dodger save. What seems like a normal, unassuming late season win between two non-contenders would quietly become the final save for a bullpen that statistically was one of the greatest and certainly one of the weirdest in baseball history. The 2003 Dodgers.
On the seventh pitch, Harper hits one in the air, left center field, back it goes! Harper, the swing of his life!
Dodgers ace Kevin Brown had been brilliant, dealing 7 innings of one-run ball in his stellar 2003 season. But at 108 pitches in a tied 1-1 game against the Padres, manager Jim Tracy decided that was it for Brown. Luckily for him, Tracy had an incredibly deep bullpen to call upon. Cue Guillermo Mota. Mota had a promising rookie season with the Expos, but then struggled for 3 seasons, forcing a trade to the Dodgers. In 2003, it finally clicked. After an incredible 15 consecutive scoreless innings in spring training, the Dodgers felt confident adding him to the big league squad. Mota immediately impressed, becoming the team's primary long reliever. He won highlight runs, like 19 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings in June, and an insane 0.44 ERA through 21 August appearances. He finished the season with a 6-3 record and a sparkling 1.97 ERA in 76 games, through the most innings by a Dodgers reliever since 1985. Despite his heavy usage all year, Mota only needed 1 inning in this particular game, quickly dispatching the Padres lineup. After Mota set down the Padres in the 8th, the Dodgers had 2 left-handed Padres hitters up in the form of Mark Kotsay, yes, the current Athletics manager, and Ramon Vasquez. Jim Tracy, the Dodgers manager, needed a lefty specialist, and thankfully, he had one. This man was Tom Martin. Martin's job was to be the Luigi, the left-handed one-out guy. Martin's career trajectory was as odd as Mota's. A great rookie season at the Astros before being picked up in the expansion draft by the Diamondbacks, before immediately being traded to Cleveland. And for the next 5 seasons, Martin had an ERA near 8 and a concerning negative 1.9 WAR through 76 innings. His career seemed over after the Devil Rays released him in late 2002. Yet, the Dodgers took a chance. And despite his past struggles, Martin had a solid year as the bullpen's lefty. 80 appearances, 51 innings, and a 3.53 ERA and a 0.04 WAR. He wasn't incredible, maybe the weakest link in this chain of aces, but he did his job. He showed that once again in this game, first by striking out Mark Kotsay, but after he allowed a hit to Ramon Vasquez, Jim Tracy decided that was it for the lefty. After Jim Tracy had pulled Tom Martin out of the game, he called upon Paul Quantrill, who became the Dodgers setup man in 2003, and is also Cal Quantrill's dad. Quantrill was already a seasoned veteran in 2003, who had made a name for himself with the Blue Jays by having impeccable control by being able to pitch in seemingly every game. In fact, Paul Quantrill is the only pitcher since 1910 to lead the league in games pitched for 4 consecutive seasons, and is tied for 45th in most games pitched all time, all while pitching in over 47% of the games his team played in from 1997 to 2004. Quantrill just happened to have maybe his best season for the Dodgers that year. In 2003, Quantrill pitched 89 games, the highest of his career, while having an ERA of 1.75, the lowest of his career. Quantrill once again showed his great form against the Padres by striking out Keith Lockhart and then getting Todd Sears to ground out to second base to bring this game to extra innings. With the game headed into extra innings, the Dodgers turned to the reliable middle reliever Paul Shuey. Acquired from the Indians in 2002, Shuey had carved out a very solid, if somewhat average, 11-season career, and 2003 was another dependable year, with a clean 3 ERA through 69 innings, which was 35 points above average. Shuey delivered once again against the Padres, pitching a perfect 10th inning, sending the game into the 11th. And luckily for the Dodgers, they finally broke the tie in the top of the 11th, with a Jolbert Cabrera double scoring Dave Roberts, yes, the current Dodgers manager. The Dodgers now held a slim 1-run lead and needed to lock it down. Luckily for them, they had one of the best closers in baseball history. From 1999 to 2001, the Dodgers had a pretty mediocre starter in their system. His ERA hovered around 4.61, and he never quite settled into the rotation. Then, in 2002, manager Jim Tracy made one of the best decisions in Dodgers history. He moved him to the bullpen. This pitcher's name was Eric Gagne. In 2002, Gagne exploded with 52 saves and 1.97 ERA, finishing 4th in Cy Young voting. And somehow he got even better. In 2003, he led the league with 55 saves, a career-low 1.2 ERA, and an astounding 237 ERA+. He won the Cy Young Award and the Rolaids Relief Man Award. Gagne was incredible in his final appearance for the legendary bullpen. He walked Phil Nevin, another featured manager in this game, but quickly settled in, getting Gary Matthews to pop out and Mark Kotsay to strike out. A single from Vasquez put 2 runners on, but Gagne, as always, got out of trouble, inducing a fly ball from Gary Bennett to earn the final save, for it became, for a single season, the best bullpen ever. These 5 bullpen stars combined to create a force unlike anything seen before. 3 of the 5 main relievers boasted an ERA plus over 200, and as a unit they held a ridiculous 2.34 ERA. The Dodgers even became the first team to have 4 pitchers appear in at least 76 games each. So, how did the Dodgers find some of the best relief pitchers ever? Well, they didn't. In fact, you could argue that none of these relievers had truly successful careers after 2003. After Guillermo Mota had 205 ERA plus through 105 innings in 2003, he tried to do it again in 2004. For the first half of the season, Mota looks good once again, with a 2.14 ERA through 63 innings, causing a trade to the Marlins, where his production would suddenly collapse. With the Marlins, Mota would put up a 4.81 ERA through 33.2 innings to end the season. Mota would pitch 459 innings for the next 8 seasons and would remain mediocre for 92 ERA plus with 6 different teams, while also earning a 100-game drug suspension. Though it ended well for Mota as he was able to win the 2 World Series with the Giants, his career would ultimately end unsuccessfully. Tom Martin would suffer a similar fate to Mota in 2004. Martin would struggle that year with the Dodgers with an ERA over 4 before being traded to the Braves for a prospect who would never play in the majors. Martin would improve slightly in 17 innings with the Braves, but would be released by Atlanta in 2005 after allowing 5 runs in 2.1 innings. Martin would pitch 86 innings over the next 2 seasons of the Rockies before retiring with an ERA of 4.92. Meanwhile, Paul Quantrill had already carved out a great career before the 2003 season, but unfortunately he was not able to follow that up. Quantrill pitched 69 innings for 3 different teams in 2004 and 2005, while being 23 points below average in terms of ERA. The other veteran in that bullpen, Paul Shuey, retired after 2003 and didn't pitch at all until 2007 when the Orioles brought him out of retirement at 36 years old. But it would prove another meaningless addition to the late 2000s Orioles, as Shuey would have an ERA plus of 48 through 25.2 innings, ending a solid career. Now on to the most famous member of this bullpen, Eric Gagne. In 2004, Eric Gagne once again won the Rolaids Relief Man Award, in part because of his 45 saves and his 2.19 ERA through 82.1 innings, which was 88 points above average. Despite 3 electric relief seasons for Gagne as a top closer in the sport, his career would be marred by injuries, especially in his knee that held him back from his true potential. Gagne would retire after the 2008 season, and sadly his legacy was forever tarnished when his name appeared in the Mitchell Report, linking his incredible rise from average starter to dominant closer to steroid use. So how did the Dodgers pull this off? How did they manage to capture the career best seasons of all these relievers at the exact same time? Some might point to pitching coach Jim Colborn, but he never replicated that spark again for another season. The truth? The answer is simple. They got lucky. Because sometimes in baseball, lightning just strikes. And when it does, it can create something truly unforgettable and truly weird.
The 1-0 pitch.